Your English is broken. It's not real English. The Philippines is the only place where people proudly destroy the language on national TV. Those words came out of a CNN anchor's mouth on live television in front of 12 million people. He said that to a Filipino journalist's face. And what happened next? He got destroyed so badly, he had to apologize from his bedroom the next day looking like a man who just lost everything. This is not clickbait. This actually happened. And I'm going to tell you exactly how one man's arrogance turned into the worst 15 minutes of his entire career. Stay with me because the revenge, it's perfect. It's a Tuesday morning. CNN International is live. The show is called Global English, Who Speaks It Best. The main anchor is Richard Hale, 52 years old, British, perfect hair, perfect suit, the kind of guy who looks like he was born in a library holding a grammar book. He has 3 guests on video call, a professor from London, a news reporter from Sydney, and a young journalist from Manila named Carlo Reyes. Richard starts the conversation with his usual confidence. English is the language of the world, he says. But let's be honest here. Not everyone speaks it the same way. Some versions are clear and proper. Some versions are, well, let's just say creative. He smiles. The London professor gives a polite laugh. The Sydney woman nods along. Then the camera cuts to Carlo. Carlo is 29 years old. Simple shirt, calm energy. He smiles and says, "Good morning from Manila, Richard. Happy to be here." The second Carlo speaks, Richard's expression changes. You can see it. His eyebrows lift. A smirk appears, that dangerous kind of smirk. Richard leans forward like he just found his target. "Carlo, mate," he says, dragging out the word like it hurts him, "your English is interesting. You mix Tagalog and English all together. What do you people even call that?" Carlo keeps his cool. "We call it Taglish, Richard, or Filipino Pidgin. It's how more than 100 million of us communicate every single day." Richard chuckles. Not a friendly chuckle, the kind that makes your stomach tight. Right. But seriously now, when you say things like, "I will go to the mall," or "open the lights," that's not real English, is it? It's cute, I'll give you that, but it's broken English. Let that sit for a second. He just called the way 100 million people speak broken, on live international television in front of the entire world. The Sydney guest tries to laugh it off nervously. The London professor shifts in his seat, looking uncomfortable. "Carlo?" Carlo just smiles wider. "Broken," he repeats softly. "Or maybe it's upgraded." Oh, Richard loves this. He thinks he's winning. He leans in even closer to the camera. "Upgraded? Come on, mate. English has rules for a reason. You people just throw words together like you're mixing adobo in a pot. Now, if you're Filipino, you already know what's coming. If you're not, let me explain something important. Filipinos are some of the kindest, most patient people you'll ever meet. You can joke about the traffic, you can joke about the weather, you can even joke about the slow internet, but the second you disrespect the culture, the language, the people, that's it. You just press the button. You just woke up an entire nation, and that button? Richard just smashed it with both hands. Within 30 seconds, the hashtag Pinoy Pride starts climbing on Twitter. Within 2 minutes, the CNN live chat is exploding. Comments flood in so fast the screen can barely keep up. Within 5 minutes, Richard Hale's name is trending worldwide at number 1. And no, it's not because people are praising him, but Richard doesn't see any of this yet. He's still talking, still confident, still digging. "Look," he says, waving his hand like he's explaining something to a child. "I've traveled all over Asia, Singapore, Hong Kong, even India. People there speak proper English, clean English. But the Philippines? You're the only country where people proudly butcher the language on TV and act like it's normal." That line right there, that's the one. That's the sentence that ended him. Carlo finally speaks again. His voice is still calm, but now there's weight behind it, and 12 million people around the world just leaned closer to their screens. "Richard," Carlo says, "let me tell you a quick story. Last year, Typhoon Quinta hit Tondo, One of the poorest areas in Manila, flood water rose fast. People were trapped. A 9-year-old girl named Jasmine stood in water up to her chest. No shoes, no jacket, just her phone in a plastic bag. She went live on Facebook. And you know what language she used? Taglish. She spoke in that so-called broken English you're laughing at. Richard's smile starts fading. Carlo continues. She gave directions to rescuers in perfect Taglish. She told them which streets were flooded, which houses had old people stuck on the second floor, which families needed help first. Her video was shared 20,000 times in 1 hour. Because of that little girl and her broken English, 20 families were pulled out alive that night. Silence. Complete silence. On the broadcast, Carlo leans closer to his camera. So tell me, Richard, was her English broken, or did it save 20 lives? Richard opens his mouth. Nothing comes out. For the first time in his long career, Richard Hale is speechless. But Carlo isn't finished. Not even close. We don't speak Pidgin because we're lazy or uneducated, Richard. We speak it because we're smart. We're flexible. 1 second, I'm on a call with a client in New York speaking perfect American English. The next second, I'm yelling to a jeepney driver in Taglish so he waits for my grandmother. That's not broken. That's skill. That's adaptation. That's power. The Sydney guest starts clapping on her screen. The London professor nods slowly, visibly moved, and the comment section, it's a war zone now. Carlo just ended this man's entire career in under 2 minutes. British guy really tried to mock Filipino English and got destroyed with facts. We don't butcher English. We upgrade it. Stay mad, Richard. From Manila with love. Sit down and learn something. Richard tries to recover. He forces a nervous laugh. All right. Maybe I was a bit too harsh there. Too late. Way too late. Behind the scenes, chaos. The director in the control room is screaming into his headset. The producer is watching the live metrics on his monitor, 300,000 tweets per minute, all of them destroying Richard. The CNN Philippines branch cuts away from the main feed and plays Carlo's typhoon story on loop. It's spreading like wildfire. The whole internet is watching now. And Carlo still has more to say. Richard, he says, and his calmness is almost scary now. You said English has rules. You're absolutely right. And the first rule of any language is communication. If a fisherman in Palawan can negotiate with a Chinese tourist using Taglish and they both leave happy, that's successful English. If a nurse in Makati can comfort a dying American patient at 2 a.m. using Taglish, that's beautiful English. If a call center worker in Cebu can fix a computer problem for an old lady in Texas, that's perfect English. Your rules were written in 1850. Our English is alive in 2025. Something incredible happens next. CNN is running a live poll during the segment. The question on screen: which version of English sounds the best? When the show started, Filipino Pidgin had 4% of the vote. Right now, as Carlo finishes speaking, 78%. The bar graph shoots up so fast it glitches. The system can't even handle the volume of votes coming in. Richard's face is red now, bright red. He looks like he wants to crawl under the desk and disappear. He tries to cut to commercial, but then someone in the control room does something that changes everything. They open the phone lines, live calls unscripted, no filter. This never happens on CNN. But today it happens. First call connects. A woman's voice. Strong Filipino accent. Hi, Richard. My name is Maria. I'm a nurse in New York. I just finished a 12-hour shift saving American lives in the ICU. I learned my English in Quezon City Public School. You got a problem with that? Richard tries to answer. She hangs up. Second call. A man's voice. British accent mixed with Filipino. Hello, Richard. I'm a teacher in London. My students beg me to teach them Tagalog words like kilig and tampo because, guess what? Shakespeare never invented words for those feelings. Maybe we upgraded your language and you just didn't notice. Third call. American voice. Deep. No nonsense. Yeah, hi. This is Sergeant Collins, U.S. Marines stationed in Okinawa. I've been to Manila 4 times. Your taxi drivers there speak better English than half the guys in my unit. Show some respect, man." Richard is frozen. He has no words left, no comebacks, no clever remarks. He just sits there while the world tears him apart in real time. Carlo delivers the final blow. Gentle, calm, deadly. "Richard, next time you come to Manila, and I really hope you do, I'll personally take you to the streets. Let a Tahoe vendor teach you some real English. Let a sari-sari store owner show you how we switch between 3 languages in 1 sentence and still make perfect sense. I promise you'll leave speaking better than you do right now." The show finally cuts to commercial. But the internet? The internet is just getting started. Within an hour, someone makes a video. It's Richard's smirk in slow motion with sad violin music playing over it, 25 million views in 6 hours. The hashtag Cancel Richard Hale trends for 14 straight hours. People are making TikToks, reaction videos, memes. Even news stations in other countries pick up the story. British anchor humiliated after mocking Filipino English. The headlines read CNN releases a statement 6 hours later. Short, careful, damage control. We celebrate all forms of English and the diverse ways people communicate around the world. Today's conversation was an important reminder of that. The next day, Richard posts a video. He's at home. No studio, no makeup, no fancy lighting, just him sitting in front of a plain wall looking exhausted and defeated. "I was wrong," he says. His voice is quiet. "I was arrogant. I disrespected an entire nation and their language. Carlo and the Filipino people taught me a lesson I will never forget. I'm deeply sorry." The video gets millions of views. But you know what gets even more? Carlo's response. He posts one single sentence on Twitter. "We're all learning. Let's keep the conversation going." That tweet gets twice as many likes as Richard's apology. Because Carlo didn't need to gloat. He already won. 1 month later, something beautiful happens. CNN invites Carlo to host his own special. It's called Taglish Takes Over, The Power of Filipino English. It breaks viewership records. Carlo interviews Filipinos from around the world. Doctors, engineers, teachers, artists, overseas workers, all of them sharing stories about how their language, their so-called broken English, helped them survive, succeed, and connect. And now, whenever someone tries to mock Filipino Pidgin online, the replies come instantly. "Careful. Remember what happened to Richard Hale. Don't be the next one." So, here's the truth. On that Tuesday morning, one calm journalist and 12 million furious people didn't just defend a language. They reminded the world of something powerful. You can have the fanciest accent, the most expensive education, the biggest platform. But if you use that platform to look down on others, to disrespect how they talk, how they live, how they survive, the internet will find you. The people will find you, and they will humble you in ways you never imagined. Because real English isn't about sounding British or American or Australian. Real English is about connection. It's about a little girl saving lives during a typhoon. It's about a nurse comforting a patient. It's about a worker fixing a problem at 3 in the morning. It's about getting your message across no matter how you mix the words. That's power. That's skill. That's survival. And if you ever forget that, just remember Richard Hale, the man who insulted 100 million people on live TV and got destroyed with nothing but calm words, hard facts, and the unstoppable force of the internet Filipinos armed with truth. So, let me ask you something. Have you ever been judged for how you speak? Have you ever been told your accent is wrong or your English is broken? Drop your country in the comments right now. Let's talk about it. Because this story isn't just about the Philippines. It's about every single person who's been told their voice doesn't count. Spoiler alert. Your voice counts. Your words matter. And people like Richard are finally learning that the hard way. Now go share this with someone who needs to hear it, because respect isn't optional. It's required.